He didn't expect a letter to change his whole life, but the HOA letter did. And it was ruthless. It arrived on a quiet morning, taped to the farmhouse door like a warning. The paper looked official, the words cold: remove your boat immediately. HOA violation. Final notice. Ethan Carter stared at it, confused. His boat wasn't on anyone's lawn. It wasn't blocking traffic. It wasn't loud. It was simply parked near the private marina slip he had used for years, one his late father had built when the neighborhood was nothing but trees and dirt roads. The marina was Ethan's peace. It was where he remembered his dad teaching him knots, where his mother laughed in summer wind. That boat wasn't just a boat, it was family history. But the HOA didn't care about history. They cared about control, and the letter promised something worse: if he didn't comply, they'd fine him daily and take further action. Ethan folded the paper slowly, eyes narrowing, because he knew one thing the HOA didn't: that marina wasn't theirs. And the real twist was about to be revealed. The next HOA meeting felt like a courtroom without justice. Ethan walked in wearing simple work clothes, still smelling faintly of lake water and fresh wood. Across the room sat HOA President Linda Grayson, perfectly dressed, smiling like she already won. The board members nodded along like puppets. Linda didn't waste time. Your boat is an eyesore. This community has standards, she said loudly. Remove it or we will escalate. Ethan stayed calm. It's in my slip. My family built that marina. Linda laughed softly, like he was a child. No. The HOA controls the marina access. We can revoke privileges. That word privileges hit Ethan like an insult. His father didn't build privileges. He built property. Ethan pulled out a folder. Old deeds. Survey maps. A faded photograph of his dad standing beside the dock with a hammer and a proud smile. Linda barely glanced. That's irrelevant. The HOA owns the easement now. Ethan's jaw tightened. You're sure about that? Linda leaned forward, voice sweet and sharp. I'm not sure. I'm certain. And if you don't obey, you'll regret it. Ethan walked out without arguing, because he wasn't there to fight in public. He was there to confirm something: that Linda was bluffing. And she had no idea what Ethan was about to do next. Ethan didn't sleep that night. Instead, he opened his father's old wooden chest. Inside were documents sealed in plastic, carefully organized. His dad had always said, "Son, land is power. Never lose your paper trail." Ethan found it: the original easement agreement. The HOA didn't own the marina. They only had limited access rights, granted decades ago. And those rights had conditions. Clear ones: if the HOA harassed the owner or interfered with use, the easement could be revoked. Ethan's hands trembled, not from anger, but from the weight of truth. Linda wasn't enforcing rules. She was trying to take something she didn't own. The next morning, Ethan hired a property attorney named Mr. Collins, calm and precise. Collins reviewed the documents and smiled slightly. Ethan. This is strong. Very strong. Ethan asked the question that mattered most. Can I stop them? Collins nodded. You can revoke their easement. Legally. But you must do it clean. No emotion. Just proof. Ethan looked out toward the water. The marina shimmered under the sun like it was waiting. He whispered, "Then we do it clean." That same afternoon, Ethan installed new security cameras, quietly, and he wrote a letter of his own, a letter that would flip the entire neighborhood upside down. The HOA didn't see it coming. 2 days later, Linda arrived at the marina with a smug expression and 2 men in reflective vests. She held a clipboard like a weapon. Behind her, several neighbors watched from a distance, whispering. Linda pointed toward Ethan's boat. Tow it, she ordered, but the moment the tow truck rolled forward, the driver stopped. A brand new metal gate blocked the entrance. On the gate was a bold sign: private property, access revoked, trespassers will be reported. Linda's smile vanished. What is this? She snapped. Ethan stepped out from behind the gate, calm as stone. This is my marina. Linda raised her voice. You can't block HOA access. That easement belongs to us. Ethan held up a sealed envelope. Not anymore. Linda ripped it open, reading quickly. Her face turned pale. The letter was from Ethan's attorney. It stated clearly, due to harassment and interference, the easement is revoked effective immediately. Neighbors gasped. The tow driver backed away slowly like he didn't want trouble. Linda tried to laugh, but it sounded forced. This won't stand. We'll sue. Ethan didn't argue. He simply pointed to the cameras. Everything is recorded. Linda froze, because in that moment, she realized something terrifying. Ethan wasn't reacting. He was executing a plan, and the Marina lockdown was only the beginning. That week, the neighborhood split in half. Some neighbors were furious. Ethan is selfish, they complained. Others were quiet because they remembered Linda's power trips, her fines, her threats. The HOA tried to pressure Ethan. They sent violation letters, fake invoices, even tried to claim he endangered community access. Linda personally marched to his farm and shouted across the fence, demanding the gate be removed. Ethan stayed silent. He let her talk, because the cameras caught everything, every threat, every insult, every moment she crossed onto his land without permission. Then came the biggest mistake. One evening, Linda brought a locksmith. She thought if she could change the gate lock, she could regain control and embarrass Ethan publicly, but she didn't notice the small red light blinking above the gate, or the hidden camera angled perfectly toward her hands. The locksmith hesitated. Ma'am, are you sure this is legal? Linda snapped, I'm the HOA president. Do it. The moment the lock was touched, Ethan's phone buzzed. He watched live footage from inside his kitchen. He didn't run outside screaming, he didn't threaten, he simply called the sheriff calmly and said, someone is attempting forced entry on private property. I have it on video. Minutes later, flashing lights painted the road. Linda turned around and saw the patrol car, and for the first time, she looked scared. The HOA expected Ethan to break. Instead, Ethan broke the HOA. The sheriff spoke to Linda politely but firmly. She tried to act innocent, but the video footage was undeniable. The locksmith quietly stepped away, refusing to be involved. Linda's face burned with humiliation as neighbors watched from porches. Her power, the thing she lived for, was slipping away in public. But the real shock came a day later. Ethan's attorney filed a complaint with the county, attaching every clip: harassment, trespassing, intimidation, and attempted forced access. It wasn't just drama anymore. It was documented misconduct. Then Ethan sent a calm letter to every homeowner, not emotional, not angry, just truth. He explained the Marina history, the easement conditions, and how the HOA violated them. He attached proof. The neighborhood erupted. People who had been scared of Linda finally spoke up. One by one, homeowners shared their own stories: unfair fines, threats, bullying. A petition started circulating to remove Linda from the board. Linda panicked and tried damage control. She called emergency meetings. She promised changes. But nobody believed her anymore. And then Ethan revealed the final twist. He wasn't just protecting his boat, he had been protecting the entire neighborhood from a takeover plan Linda had been quietly building for years. Linda thought the Marina was the prize, but it was only the doorway. Ethan's attorney uncovered HOA documents showing Linda had been pushing a secret expansion plan, one that would allow the HOA to claim partial control over nearby shoreline lots, including Ethan's farm edge. The Marina conflict wasn't about a boat. It was about land, power, and greed. When this was exposed at the next public meeting, Linda's voice shook. She tried to deny it, but Ethan calmly played the recorded footage of her threats, then showed the signed documents she had hidden. The room went silent, and then the board voted. Linda was removed immediately. The HOA issued a formal apology to Ethan. The fines were erased. And the neighborhood, finally free, voted for a new board with transparency rules. Ethan didn't celebrate loudly. He simply walked down to the Marina at sunset, touched the dock rail, and whispered, "Dad, we kept it." The boat stayed, the Marina stayed, and the HOA learned a lesson: you can't bully someone who knows their rights. And that was the final twist in this unbelievable HOA story. If you love the drama, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment sharing your thoughts. It really helps this channel grow.